Hey everybody, Brian Miller, Small Town Movie Watcher, and we're getting dangerously close to the end of the year, and I'm trying to shove in as many 2016 movies as possible before we get there. So I just got done watching Ghostbusters, the brand new one. I'm a bit late to the party on it, but I finally got to watch it. Laura and I attempted to watch it yesterday, but our internet kept going like this, one of those things, and it's like, we just gave up trying to watch it. So then we moved to Netflix, and our internet was going like this, and so being able to watch it then wasn't happening. So I watched it finally after it downloaded all night. It was like I was on dial-up again, but I ended up watching it finally, and so here's what it is. Ghostbusters 2016, and the gist of the story is that we have three scientific minds who believe highly in ghosts and that they want to capture a ghost, study the paranormal, how it happens, and how we can learn from it, because they're scientific people. They believe in the scientific method, at least that's what they said a few times, and they believe that ghosts are real. Then we have our one random everyday person who joins the team, who experiences a ghost and wants to join the team and help out as well. So the biggest difference between the old Ghostbusters 1984, 1989 and the new Ghostbusters is they're women. It takes place in New York City. It takes place with the same general vicinity of characters. And there's even the characters themselves from the old Ghostbusters, though it's not them, are in this movie. So what was the good parts? Let's back up. No, what was the good parts? So I thought that the computer After Effects were really good. I think that Ghostbusters as a franchise is gonna make this comeback if it's allowed to. It's not just the nostalgia, I think, that makes me like Ghostbusters. I think that technology has caught up to what Ghostbusters could actually be. So there's that. I think that the effects in this movie were really good. And I do think that the acting from the ladies was excellent, and the story was okay. And the Easter eggs for those that are fans were good as well. So I can't tell you specifics. I mean, Kristen Wiig kind of plays Kristen Wiig, and Melissa McCarthy kind of plays Melissa. And then the other two Saturday Night Live people, I don't know, they're not in a lot of movies right now, so they don't have, I can't say, yep, they always play those characters. So, I mean, they're reaching out to movies now. So I think it's time will tell to see what they'll do. But, I mean, the other two characters, Melissa and Kristen, unfortunately, those are their characters that they always play in movies. That's how I feel. Take it for what it's worth. So what were the downsides of this movie? Let's go back to a good part too. Chris Hemsworth, he did a great job too, playing the dumb blonde meat candy. I don't know what you want to call him. I've never been the eye candy. I just combined two things. The eye candy, the dumb blonde eye candy, but he played that role pretty well. And maybe it took him a lot of work to get to that point, but there was the time that he is possessed by a ghost that he had to play something else. So him switching characters, I think he did pretty well. And that's not a spoiler, that's in the trailers. So what was the bad parts about this movie? I don't know. When a movie shares the title, and Paul, the director, was specific in saying that this is not a reboot to the original Ghostbusters story. It took me like half the movie to try to wrap my head around that, because I attempted to keep putting each of our main characters into the shoes of the original characters. So even though Kristen Wiig was our main character, I feel like, because we followed her the most, even though she was the first one, so therefore in my brain the first person that's seen in the original Ghostbusters was Bill Murray's character, I keep trying to associate her character with his character, and I associate Melissa McCarthy's character with Dan Aykroyd's character, and Kristen McKinnon, her character with I want to say Raimi, that's not it, Egon, and then the last person with the other person. So I kept trying to put them into those people, and it really didn't work. And really, in the end, for those characters, it wasn't that they were the same, it's that they took all of the Ghostbuster characters, they smooshed them together, and then they poured them into the new forms. So you've got a little bit of this character, and this character, and this new character, and you took another little pieces of this character, put it in this character, and finally, it broke down across the way. So half the movie, I'm trying to put them into these old characters. The other half of the movie, I finally go, oh yeah, these are the old characters just kind of smooshed together into these other characters. So there's that. And maybe that's a bad thing. I think it is. It's a nostalgia thing for me that I watched it that way. Otherwise, I think that this was not a bad movie. I don't think that there was a lot of bad parts to it. I think the other bad part, again, comparing to the old Ghostbusters, no one died in 2 movies in the old Ghostbusters. In this movie, I mean, there's at least 2 people that died on screen. I'm sorry if that's a spoiler, but 2 people died on screen in this movie, which is, a 200% increase from the other movies. But one of the deaths was to move the story along, and the other death, not so much. Not sure why they had it, but they had it. I think they could have been a better role for it. Anyway, so there's that. So no more bad things, I think. I think if you'd never seen Ghostbusters, ever, if you've never seen the original Ghostbusters and you just saw this Ghostbusters, I think that you would rather enjoy it. However, I think that if you are a fan of the original Ghostbusters, the original cast, the original story, you're going to watch this and you're going to say, no, this one's not for me. And I think that is what happened to it at the theaters. A lot of people had this nostalgia feel to the old Ghostbusters, and when they went to watch this one, they said, nope, not the same thing, and they told their friends, and it just became a downward spiral that this summer tentpole movie summer blockbuster movie was kind of left in the dark because of people's feelings towards the old one. But I think that if you're watching this movie as a standalone and not as a part of the original Ghostbusters franchise, I think this is a great movie. I think it was. I think it's funny. I think that it's well acted. I think that the story is fine. I think that the effects in it, the computer effects in it, are great. And again, there are those Easter eggs in it just for us that are the fans of the original Ghostbusters. I want to say Star Wars, but that's not it. Star Wars was last week. So overall, I think that this was a good movie. And right now, you can get this movie at a video store, at Redbox, on your favorite video on demand, be it Google, Apple, Amazon. and probably on your TV cable box right now. Whatever cable provider you have or satellite provider, you could probably get it there. So I really do think that Ghostbusters was a good movie and worth your time to watch it. So with that, Brian Miller, Small Town Movie Watcher, I got done watching Ghostbusters, rated PG-13, and I do think that this is worth your time to get lost in. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon.